Welcome to the Autolust YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're already an Autolust family member, then what's swinging, gang? Now today we back on it. Big intercooler energy, big Sasha energy, 1,000 wheel horsepower energy, custom bracket energy, custom radiator hose energy. I mean, it's so much custom stuff. I can't wait to show you guys. So let's get right into it. So if you don't know, these are my custom F90 intercoolers. Yes, F90 M5, F86 X6M, F95 X5M, and whatever the hell the M8 chassis code is. These are the upgraded intercoolers for that entire line of chassis I just mentioned. I originally had M6 intercoolers when I first built the engine. Got rid of those. I had to heavily modify the engine and do custom charge pipes to even run those. Then I went with the factory F90 intercoolers, which are sitting right over there. And then this is my fourth set of intercoolers on this engine. And I think this is going to be the end all to be all, the be all to end all, however you say that saying. So these things were custom modified by my buddy. I mean, the laminator, I mean, this guy here is known for making stuff go fast. These are function over form all day in America. And if you saw the last video, the top hats weren't painted. I have those painted now, and I'm not worried about painting this area because they're going to be wrapped in some foam here, some closed cell foam to keep these center sections ice cold with the chiller fluid. But if you did, it took a lot to make these coolers look the way they do. It wasn't easy, and I'm going to show you a little footage here on what went into making these coolers. My upgraded intercooler started out as just regular F90 CTS intercoolers, but then my good friend the laminator got to work. During removing the ports, he found something very disturbing. As you can see, permanent marker marks out the whole entire area of a block of aluminum that sits inside the cooler for some odd reason, who knows, but it had to be removed very carefully, inch by inch, to get it out of there, and it was for each port. Then 1/4-inch aluminum sheet was welded in correctly, and the full 1-inch bar ports were added so we can have full flow. Thank you very much again to my good friend and race partner, the laminator. I mean, these coolers are just as stout as it's gonna be. The hoses were moved. The ports were moved into the most desirable areas for air to escape and to use the entire heat exchanger inside. So these things are just gonna be extremely efficient, and big shout out to the laminator for making those. But let me show you exactly why before I get into all of this crazy looking custom stuff going on here, including that little thing right there. Let you know what that is. But the reason I switched out from these coolers is pretty much it has to do the same thing I did to these coolers, the new ones. This factory port comes here in the front, but it won't fit because I run front mount intake, so it'll hit the hose as it comes out of the front of this intercooler. So I had the port moved to the back and block this one off. But these factory intercoolers are so thin, the metal on it are so thin compared to the 1-inch, the 1/4-inch aluminum sheet those aftermarkets made out of. You can see that once the weld was done, well, I mean, there's great penetration on it, but you can see that the weld penetrated a little too deep and it clogged up the area in there. You can see that the weld is pushing through. But yeah, let's get to all the custom things I had to do to get this thing to fit these coolers, because they are massive. Okay, let me get my little stool here correct. All right, so as you can see, that cooler is so big it takes up this entire spot here. My radiator hose, which was a silicone top radiator hose, because I needed to reroute it for the stock F90 coolers. It came, my stock radiator port was at a 45 degree, and it looped the radiator hose to here to the engine. That wouldn't work for the F90 coolers. They're way too far out. That the depth is deep. So what I had to do is I bought I'm going to show you exactly what I bought since it's sitting here, but I can't use this on these new coolers either. I had to buy this, and you see these, the big and the little lock there, those are locks that lock it on the radiator so it stays in a certain orientation, and the factory one is not in this 90-degree orientation. So I had to buy this. I think this is from a VW, and it fits to lock it in a 90-degree orientation. Then I had a 90-degree pipe with 8-inch legs that went from the radiator directly to the engine block, and the stock F90 cooler fit right in there, and the pipe set way down here at the time, and so it sticked out a little bit, you know, because obviously the fan is there, so you can't sit it on top of the fan like this one. You had to sit it in front of the fan, but I had the room. With these huge, massive, oversized, gargantuan, gluttonous, eat everything up in the engine new intercoolers I have, that won't work. So we had to come up with a different idea. So I was able to find a Chevy Sonic upper radiator hose thing like this. I could have used this one, but you see where the lock pins are on the side? On the Chevy Sonic, they're on the opposite side. And on the radiator, it only has provisions for those pins on the top. So I had to get something that brought those pins top and bottom, and also let me lock it on in the 90-degree upward angle, because this new radiator provision doesn't go this way, it goes this way. So this is a 90. As you can see, it goes directly down into the hose here, and as you can see, the pins would be on the side if I use this one, and it wouldn't lock on, it'll just pop right off. So I needed something that had the pins on the top and the bottom, or the lock clip on the top and the bottom, but the outlet facing directly up. And I was able to find that with a Chevy part, the same exact size, dimension, and everything. So I have that. It goes into a 90, and then this is the weird part here. And man, it's not easy. Man, we caught some hell with this. Then it has to go down, swing around, and go back that way, down while going down to reach this 90 degree. So what's the easiest way to do that? Of course, the magic of measuring and bending a piece of copper. So I bent this piece of copper right here. Since my buddy the laminator doesn't live here, I bent that piece of copper and got it centered. So when that's centered like that, well, it doesn't sit like that. When I hold it, both parts center directly into the center there, directly into the center there. He can put those measurements, including the measurements I made with a digital square from here to here, and the angle of this second bend in CAD, and I'll show you what that looks like. Here you can see that I'm measuring the distance between both of the bends, which one goes to the upper hose and one goes to the lower hose. Then here I'm starting off on the level area to measure the actual angle of the bottom hose, which is the important hose, and that's the angle. I sent that information over to my buddy the laminator, and he got it into CAD immediately, and you can see it looks nice, 3D printed. And this is the test piece. It's a solid piece, so water isn't going to flow through it, but it's just for testing only. Yeah, and once we did that, we came out with that 3D printed part, and that should slip right in there. And that's just the, you know, the trial piece or mock-up piece. We're not going to use that. Of course, it's solid. Nothing can flow through it. But the piece that we do use will fit both holes tightly, but the body will come up to the same outer diameter as the hose, so it'll be one continuous long piece. One continuous diameter, instead of, you know, a small or hard hose in between these two silicone hoses. And that way I can insulate the entire hose with the heat shielding that I have, you know, and cover it up and make it look nice, you know. So that's that. And as you can see, it's getting weirder already. So if you planning on doing these upgraded big F90 intercoolers to your car, you're gonna have to modify it three or four times more than I did, because mine is already highly modified from running M6 coolers and stock F90 coolers. So if you have your stock coolers in there, it's not going to be easy. So another problem we ran into is this engine never held F90 coolers before. When I ran the stock coolers, they're only 7 pounds a piece. So I really didn't care about the turbo outlet and the intake manifold down there holding the weight of a 7-pound cooler on each side. But these coolers weigh 30 pounds combined, 15 pounds per side, and then who knows if they hold about a half gallon of water each. That's about 8 pounds right there. So that's almost 40 pounds on the front of this engine sitting on my intakes. I don't want to do a pull one day or come to a stop one day and that weight cracks one of my intake manifolds. So, and we can't find any F90 brackets because they need to be ordered. Everything has to be ordered, and you guys know why we're having crazy order issues here from other countries. That's no need to be said, but we can't get them, and if we do order them, it's going to take over a month to get here, and I don't have that type of time. Well, I do, but I don't want to have that type of time. So I mocked up my own. I just used this little corrugated. It looks a lot thicker than it is. You have to press it pretty hard to bend it, but that's the stock orientation of the cooler. When I drop the cooler down here, this little screw or bolt that I screwed up through that hole drops directly into the back of this cooler provision here, which is the grommet that mounts the cooler and holds the weight of the cooler to the engine block, instead of the weight being directly on the intake manifold itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbolt this off, send these off to my buddy, the laminator, and he's going to scan these, put it in the CAD, obviously make it a lot nicer than this, make them out of steel, and send it back. Put a bunch of, he's going to connect this piece here like a square, so it's even stronger than the ones that come from the factory. And I'm going to do the passenger side, the driver's side as well, and that way both coolers sit on the weight of the coolers is on the engine and not on my intake manifolds. We also tried to use his brackets. He sent me his brackets, but they're way off. These are M6 brackets, and they're not way off. It's about an inch or 3/4 of an inch off, and I don't want to bend his brackets up to force them to fit when we can do something like this and make them ourselves. So, or if this doesn't work, I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet, send him the coolers and my throttle bodies, since he has an engine already out on the stand and he already has a set of my intake manifolds. I'm not going to tell you why he has a set of my intake manifolds, but believe me, it's serious. And then he can mock up me custom, he can 3D scan the front of the engine and mock custom brackets up for me. Then it's just very expensive to ship these coolers back and forth around, because it's about $80 to ship them, with insurance. So there's $80 there, and then another $80 back, almost $200, just to do a little 3D scan, so I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible, especially with how much money is in this build already. So, and we won't be using the top brackets. As you can see, they were cut off anyways to fit the M6 coolers, but I still have my water pump bracket here to hold my water pump that pumps water through the turbos to cool them. We still have that, but these provisions don't really hold the coolers up. They actually hold them back so they don't go back and forth. But once these coolers are mounted there, connected to the short little piece of charge pipe that we do have, which is here, that's how short my charge pipes are, they aren't going anywhere. They're not going to move anywhere anyway. So yeah, I just want to keep that weight off of the intakes. Yeah guys, so this was just an update video. I didn't want to make this video long. I just wanted you guys to know what type of work and what type of customization that goes into doing something the world's first and the world's first time. Like, this is the first F90 cooler X6M in the world. It was the first M6 intercooler X6M in the world, and now it's the world's first X6M with F90 aftermarket coolers. You know, this car has so many world's firsts. It's literally the world's most highly modified. And you know, I'm so used to saying that it sounds normal now, but once you think about in the world, or anybody who ever shared it, it's probably one that's more modified that we don't know about because it's not on the net. But this is the highly most modified one on the internet, you know. So I mean, it is what it is, and she'll be back on the track soon. I'm very busy. I'm full steam ahead, getting this build done, getting this stuff done so we can get back on the track and finally test this version 3 of the custom XHP tune to see if we can get my baby to hook up. And it's summertime now, well, it's springtime, and it's very hot. It's like 93 degrees today, you know, here in Florida. So the last time I went to the track, it was like in the 60s. So it wasn't good for me anyways, but you know, she should really show her butt the next time I get to the track. So like, share, and subscribe, and Auto Lust out.